Hello, now this video will change your life. You can thank me later, like invite me to your wedding or something. Ozempic and other weight loss drugs will cost up to £200 per patient per month. And in most cases, it's only going to work if you stay on it for life. There are myriad side effects. Some of the most serious we may not know yet, given the novel nature of this medication, but nausea, brain fog and depression are well-reported symptoms. There's also the concern that when the weight comes off, on average, up to about 16% of your body mass, which is not exactly game-changing, half of that could be muscle mass. And we all know about Ozempic face. There it is. Ooh, with people having had the jabs looking grey, gaunt and exhausted. It doesn't have to be this way. I have the answer, which the pharmaceutical industry don't want you to know about because there's no money to be made from good health. And the food industry don't want you to know about it either, as it's their business model to pump you full of ultra-processed junk. I wouldn't even call it food, but rather a food-like substance, high in energy calories, but low in nutrition and satiety. So what is the cause of being overweight or obese? 2 words: carbohydrate addiction. That's right, consumption of moreish carbohydrates in the last 4 decades has exploded, and with it, our waistlines have expanded. So what is a carbohydrate? Well, bread, pasta, pizza, sugar, beer, biscuits, cake, potatoes, French fries, crisps, donuts, soft drinks, all of the delicious things that you and I know and love, but which offer your body nothing more than weight gain. And why are we eating so many carbohydrates? Well, because going back as far as the 1970s, the tobacco industry, keen to avoid blame for an increased risk in heart disease as a result of smoking, sponsored selective medical studies blaming saturated fat and high cholesterol. As a result, a naive and financially compromised medical industry shifted us all onto a low-fat diet, which meant replacing natural food like butter, meat, cheese and eggs with sweetened breakfast cereal, bread, rice, potatoes, pasta and grains. It was like a gold rush for the food industry, who could now start making these products, which were, in inverted commas, healthy. And the food industry had to pump low-fat food full of sugar. Why? Because otherwise it tastes disgusting. Now just think about this for a moment, right? I mentioned all of the stuff that we were encouraged to eat in the 80s, 90s, 2000s against saturated fat and then for these kind of whole grains and these carbohydrates. Well, we've eaten so many more grains in the last few decades, we've gained so much weight. How do farmers fatten up their cows? They feed them grains. Well, that's what we've done with ourselves for decades. Okay, folks, we're nearly there with the weight loss solution, but let me quickly explain to you why it is our diet dominated by carbohydrates which is making us fat. Here is the science bit. The pancreas produces a hormone called insulin. It is the main fat storage hormone of the body. It regulates your blood sugar, which in layman's terms needs to be about a teaspoon of sugar in your whole body at any one time. That's right, just 5 ml is the correct amount of sugar that's supposed to be in your whole body at any one time. It is that little. So if you eat something that raises that blood sugar, which frankly is any carbohydrate, the blood sugar jumps up. Now the clever pancreas does its job and sends a flood of insulin, which immediately converts that blood glucose into, you guessed it, fat. So the key to weight loss is keeping insulin down. It is the main fat storage hormone of the body. It decides whether you're going to be fat or not. As long as you're eating carbohydrates, the insulin will stay high. And not only is it converting blood glucose into fat, as long as insulin is raised, which is what happens when we're munching on carbohydrates all day, those fat cells remain locked shut. They won't open when the body is in a raised insulin state. So a diet that contains carbohydrates makes weight loss difficult or even impossible. So here is the radical answer, the natural alternative to Ozempic. You drastically reduce carbohydrates to below 50 grams a day. At that point, the amount of insulin in your blood drops. Your blood sugar is stable because you're not eating food that spikes it. And in a low insulin state, those fat cells in the body open up and the fat begins to be digested. Fat storage is a survival mechanism. We're designed to gain a little weight, perhaps in the summer, which is why nature traditionally provides fruit at that time, full of sugar, of course. That's in order to keep us going during winter. Plenty of animals gain and lose a little weight seasonally, but in tune with nature. Meanwhile, we're eating ice cream, pineapples, mashed potato, and pizza all year long. So if you're not eating carbohydrates, what are you eating? Real food, no products, nothing in a box with a million ingredients. The farmer is essentially feeding you. Meat, fish, eggs, cheese, yogurt, and natural oils like olive oil, butter, ghee, coconut oil, avocado oil, even palm oil is okay. Avoid industrially processed so-called vegetable oils, which are anything but. Sunflower oil, rapeseed oil, corn oil, soybean oil, cottonseed oil. They're not natural, often requiring chemicals to make them, and they're linked to weight gain and inflammation. You're also going to be eating unlimited green fibrous vegetables, salad, and berries, which are a low sugar fruit. Now, there's a vast range of low carbohydrate alternatives to bread and pasta, and if you've got a sweet tooth like I do, that is not a problem either, as natural sweeteners, which are calorie-free and deprived from plant sources, include stevia and erythritol, which taste delicious but leave your blood sugar as flat as a pancake. Sorry, by the way, no pancakes either, unless you use low carbohydrate flour. Apart from these beautiful, delicious, simple ingredients, and remember, fat is back on the menu, there are a range of low carbohydrate recipes online. Some people call this diet keto, some people call it low carb, others call it the Atkins diet. Well, there are small differences between them, but the clear message is the same, that you drastically reduce your carbohydrate consumption. And then when you do that, the insulin will fall, the fat cells will open, and your body will literally begin to digest itself. And because your body is tapping into its natural stored energy sources, it means that when you're not eating, you're not actually hungry because your blood sugar is not going up and down and your body is feeding off itself. There's plenty of breakfast, lunch and dinner around your waist. Which takes me to the last element of this, not essential but a bonus, intermittent fasting. If you go low carb, you're highly likely to lose weight. But what takes it up a level is to eat in a time window that is as short as possible. So eating perhaps between midday and 8 p.m. It means for all of those other hours between 8 p.m. and midday the next day, you're fasting, which gets the insulin down to 0, at which point the fat burning will go through the roof. Try it for a week or two and see how you feel. The results should be rapid. And you don't have to suffer. You have your sugar alternatives. You've got delicious meat and fish and natural fats, even double cream, by the way. Try avocado oil mayonnaise, absolutely delicious. You can have coffee and tea, and yes, you can even have booze. Just no beer or sweetened mixers. So spirits like gin, whiskey, tequila and vodka are 0 carb. So a gin and slimline tonic or gin and diet tonic will have no ill effects apart from maybe a hangover. Just don't go mad on the booze and you're good to go. But that's right. Red wine, white wine, and sparkling wine, pretty low in carb, and spirits 0. I should tell you, I'm not a doctor. I know I look like a doctor. My mother said I should be a doctor, but I'm not. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritional expert. I'm a layman. I'm an ordinary person. So consult your GP at all times, your medical practitioner. And also you've got to tread very carefully if you have a history of eating disorders, right? That's very serious. Anorexia, bulimia. You need the support of a professional if you're going to change your diet. But once you've consulted your physician and those around you who are qualified and who you trust, and once you've done your research, perhaps you'd like to give the low-carb lifestyle a go. Below 50 grams a day should see remarkable results. Below 100 is great, by the way, but I think we're aiming high. So let's go for below 50 where possible. That means that if on certain days you go to 75 or 100, it's not the end of the world. But let's aim for 50 if we can. The green fibrous vegetables and salad will fill you up. The protein is satiating and takes longer to digest, as well as being packed with the nutrients that your body needs. And the fat gives you the energy to keep going. It eliminates hunger and makes the food more delicious. Let me give you my perfect day of food just as an example. Late breakfast, scrambled eggs, smoked salmon and an avocado with a coffee that's got double cream in it. Lunch, chicken Caesar salad with lashings of Caesar sauce. In the evening, a salmon fillet with broccoli stir-fried in garlic, chili and olive oil, and a double cream and parmesan parsley sauce. Finished off with some plain green yogurt. Finished off with some plain Greek yogurt, sweetened with a few drops of caramel-flavoured stevia and a few raspberries. So there you are. This is the diet that could change your life. It is the basis of Michael Mosley's diet books, NHS GP Dr. David Unwin, and the work of top medics at dietdoctor.com, which is a great resource. I don't own shares in dietdoctor.com, but I found it very helpful myself. Going low carb has seen the likes of former Labour MP Tom Watson losing 7 stone in body weight and keeping it off. That's right, 7 stone. He basically lost another whole human being. All of it without any cost, without any medication, just higher energy levels and a body you're not afraid to reveal on the beach. I can tell you that low carb is also linked to the reversal, that's right, the reversal of type 2 diabetes, OMG. Now, I went low carb in 2018 and lost 3 stone, mainly to have more energy, but the weight loss was a bonus. So think twice about these expensive and risky jabs. If you rely on the pharmaceutical companies to keep you thin, all you're going to feel is a prick. Real food is nature's best medicine. So good luck and enjoy.